Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hello and welcome to an Inkdependence.com brief video review and water drop test. Today we have Sailor Blue Black. This is a very cool ink. I like blue blacks an awful lot. They're some of my favorite inks. I really like browns and stuff too, but good blue black is hard to beat. So this is a very good blue black. I've actually only got this in cartridges, so if it's a little bit different in the bottle, I don't know because, well, I don't have a bottle. But this is one that I definitely suggest getting, especially Sailor pens. I've had a little bit of issue with their converters, so when you get a Sailor pen, make sure you're getting a good converter as well. This is the cartridge. It's a proprietary cartridge. As you see there, that's not the normal cartridge opening. In fact, this is a standard international cartridge. Just as a size comparison, the Sailor is quite a lot larger. A little bit of air pocket in there, but a little bit of air pocket there too. So they're actually about even. As far as I can tell. It's actually also this like kind of interesting blue-black color, which is cool. And then you'll see the opening on the Sailor is quite a lot larger, so you're not going to be able to use this in any other pens as far as I know. Nothing else is the same size as a Sailor cartridge, or rather has the same opening as a Sailor cartridge. These come in 12 packs. As you can see, I've only used 2, so the cartridges that are in here are the ones that I've been using. And they go for $6.25 a pack. This I bought from Anderson Pens, not provided, bought it. In fact, I sent Audrey to buy it for me in Chicago at the Chicago Pin Show when she was working with Franklin Christoph. And so there you go. These are ones that I bought. Anywho, let's look at the pins I had it in, which are these two. Beautiful pins, I think. This one is the Sailor Pro Gear. This is the regular size, the standard size, hard medium nib. And it's got that beautiful two-tone nib, which I think is just awesome. Love two-tone nibs. And the other pen is this one, which is the Sailor 1911 Large. This is the bigger one of the two. You can see it's uncapped. It's the same length basically as the Pro Gear. So there you go. It's a much larger pen. So if you have bigger hands, this might work out a lot better for you. Where do I have my? I've definitely got a regular 1911. It's just not handy at the moment. I don't know where I've put it. Oh, it's in the to be cleaned box. That's why I don't have it. Anyway, so this is a great pen. Let me show you the cartridge in the pen just for funsies. And there you go. So I've only had this pen for a little bit. Let's see if I can take this out without making a mess. Probably can. There you go. I've used up about half. This is a large nib though. I've got an HM, the hard medium nib on the Pro Gear, but this is actually a music nib that's been altered a couple of times. I got it from Joe Crace at Gentleman Stationer. If you're not going to Gentleman Stationer to check out his blog, you are missing out. Check that out. Go to Joe Crace. Alright, there you go. So those are the two pens that I've been using it in. I've used it quite a bit more in this one just because it's a larger pen, but I've also been using it longer in here. So anyway, there you are. Alright. So this pen, or this ink rather, is a very nice blue-black. It's got a bit of sheen. You can totally see there. Even in my sort of low-light condition, I had beautiful sunlight just a moment ago, and the sky's all clouded up, and now I've got very kind of dim light, but I think the camera's compensating pretty well. And nonetheless, you can see, I believe, that sheen here-ish where it's heaviest. You don't really see sheen from the regular old writing samples, at least not here, even on the rodeo paper. I may have just not putting it down enough, I don't know. The music nib has been toned down a little bit. It was turned into I think a cursive italic. I think it was rounded off to be more stub-like. So, there you go. All right, let's go ahead and look at this. Actually, let me give me a little bit more light with a little handheld here. There we go. Let me put this handheld on here right quick. And there we go. Alright, now we got better light. That'll work a little bit better. There. Far more light. Alright. Take that, sun. Oh good, now the sun's coming out. It's doing that just to spite me, I swear. Anyway, as far as I say here, it's a little bit wet, maybe, a little bit on the wet side. I don't have all that much experience with this pen, the large 1911, but I've got a lot of experience with this one. It feels a little bit wet with that nib, so that's very good. Very, very slight feathering and bleeding on the 20-pound paper. This is 20-pound Staples paper. And there we go. Nope, that's Sydney Harbor. There we go. With those two. You can see like a little bit of bleed or feather here, a little bit of feather here, a little bit of feather here, but again, nothing, no big deal. A little bit on the S there, maybe. That's kind of like the worst feathering. And it's just a couple of tiny feathers. I blame the paper, of course, not really the ink in this case. And there's the back side. It's this sample right here. And you can see a couple of spots, like it bled a little bit there, maybe here, a couple of little places here. But even with this big wet music nib, no problem. So I would say this is a very well-behaved ink. All right, throw that to the side. Other stuff, no real shading. Like there's a little bit, but it's actually a fairly saturated ink, so I didn't find any real shading. Even on the Rhodia paper, no particular shading. So I'm not too worried about finding shading. And now, a lot of people don't like shading, so this is going to be really good news for them. Some people think it makes it look messy or incomplete or something. So if you don't like shading, this is a good ink for you. There's a little bit, but not a whole lot. Even on Rhodia. Regular paper, let me see if there's any shading here on the copy paper sample. Nah, not really. Like maybe just a tiny bit there, but not really. No real shading, so don't be looking for that. So great color, great flow, and no real problems with regard to performance. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a skosh here, see if I can do this one. And yeah, it looks all right. That looks pretty good. So Sailor Blue Black obviously on the top, and I happen to have a lot of other blue blacks around and blacks. So here's Yarda Lead Blue Black, which is far more blue than the Sailor Blue Black. The Sailor Blue Black is very dark blue black. Faber-Castell Midnight Blue, also a very dark blue black. Darker, I think, than the Sailor. But in the same kind of vein. So if you like the Sailor but still a little bit washed out for you, or you want one that's only in bottles, or I guess you can get Faber-Castell in cartridges too, but check that out. The Midnight Blue as well. This is also a very waterproof document sort of ink, so check that out. Visconti Blue, which is very bright blue. Seiboku, which is another Sailor Blue Black, but it's heavier on. It's like more on the purpley side. It's a pigment ink. You've got Shimmering Seas here, which is Shimmer-tastic, and this one that looks like it's got so much shine off of it. That is Kiwaguru, which is my Kiwaguro, probably, which is my favorite black, I think, at the moment. But it has this matte shine to it because of the pigment stuff in there. Very cool, right? I love it. But it is hard to read right there with so much light hitting it at an angle. And then Onyx Black down here, which is just another dark black from Diamine, and Diamine's Majestic Blue, which is straight up blue. So lots of comparisons here. Lots of different colors you can get in a blue black. But this one is pretty close to Midnight Blue, just a bit lighter. It's not quite as dark. All right, let's go ahead and do the water test right quick. I'll sploosh some water. Oh no, it's gone everywhere. There we go. Let me mop this up real quick before it gets everywhere. Alright, cool. Gonna take care of that a little bit. Alright, you can definitely see some of this moving away, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of a neat effect. So maybe if you're a person that does art of the ink wash variety, it might be kind of cool for you. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Go see Lee Reyes or somebody like that for the more artsy stuff. Anna probably at totally blanking on what her blog is called. Oh, Well Appointed Desk, of course. Anna is the person for Well Appointed Desk. She might do some art of this kind. Anyway, so actually this is very good. This is better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think this was going to have any particular water resistance, and it kind of does, which is cool. So quite a bit there. If you write something and spill a bunch of water on it, you're still going to have it be perfectly legible. It will smear a bit, but no problems as far as water resistance. So very cool. I actually didn't think this was going to be water resistant, but totally is. Maybe it says water resistant here on the back. I don't know how to read Japanese, so I've got nothing. But anyway, very solid water resistance on here actually. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it on the chromatography. And here's some chromatography for you. Look at it go. Oh, got a little bit of water here on the desk. All right, so there's the result. And you'll see, I probably shouldn't have been surprised at the water resistance, but just because so much of it moved, I was a little bit surprised. This is where it started out, of course, and there it is. Still quite a lot of ink right there. It just kind of moves up a bit. It just pushes some off, and that's what we saw here, which is some of it came loose, but still quite a lot there. So, good job, Sailor Blue Black. I'm actually quite impressed with this performance. Let me see if I have it on Tomoe River right quick, and if I don't, I'll do a sample. I don't know why I wouldn't have done it on here, but I don't. So let's go ahead and just write a writing sample real quick. This is an ink journal. You can find these all over the place. And this has got Tomoe River paper in it. So instead of having the ink journal stuff on there, it's actually on a little card that you can put wherever you want. This card has other stuff. It's got the sort of more typical of that. And then it's got, you know, there's one in the back, I think, that's just a dot pad sort of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and use this bigger one for the outline, because why not? So a little drawing action here. Go straight across, straight across. You can see this, that is terrible undercard. I'm not doing well at all. But what are you going to do? I just don't want to bore anybody with long, you know, drawing segments. All right, good enough. So let's do a little swatch first. A little swatch, a little scribbly action. All right, I'll do the rest of it with this one. There you go. Sorry, I haven't been keeping it centered at all. All right, so this is Sailor. This is a Pro Gear. And also, I haven't actually written with these pens in quite a long time. You can see they started right up. So that's a bonus for both the pen and the ink. It starts up right away every time. I have no problem with hesitation on this. This is Sailor, blue, black, Carts. And today, well, I'm not going to put an inked up date, but there you go. All right, so let's take a look at it. There's a whole lot of sheen popping out on this one. You can totally see the sheen in there. It dried very quickly, which is cool, especially on Tomoe River, which has long dry times typically. But it's only been a few seconds, and that's totally dry. So that's good. That's good. Here where I wrote this last bit, it's not totally dry, but the first parts of the words are. So I don't know, I'd say 10, 15 seconds maybe. I haven't really been looking at the clock, but plenty of sheen on here. Still no real shading, I wouldn't say. Just parts where the sheen ends up mostly. So that's cool. Good job, Tomoe River. Of course, always good job, Tomoe River. That is some great paper. All right, let's zoom back out. This has been Sailor Blue Black. This is a Jentle ink. It's in that family of inks, and it is got some nice water resistance. It looks cool. It flows really well. It behaves basically perfectly. So this is an ink that I full-on recommend. So there you go. This is Sailor Blue Black. I am Mike. This is Ink Dependence. You can find me at all the places online that you probably already know about, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You can find me at inkdependence.com for the blog. If you're watching this on a blog and want to find my YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/c/Michael Madison, spelled just the way you see it down here-ish. Also, you can find me on Instagram as @InkDependence, and you can find this ink for all over, well, kind of all over the place, I would imagine, as long as they sell Sailor ink, which is actually, now that I think about it, not that many places. So head over to Anderson Pens. They're not sponsoring this or anything. They didn't give me this ink for testing, but go over to andersonpens.com where you can get this for $6.25. And then you can also get it in bottles, sort of typical Sailor bottles, for $12.50 in a 50 ml bottle. So there you go. All right, so that's that. See y'all later. Peace out.